Okay, welcome to this class of science. Okay, so we are going to actually continue from where we ended. Now, looking at how we did understand the concept and more concept, I think this time around, I just want to run you through those questions that I gave you as an exercise because there is only one learner by the name of Shamambo who actually answered few of these questions. But the rest of you, you didn't do anything. So let us go through together so that you can understand fully. But please, can you pay attention? And I always encourage you to take part when you are given exercise. Because once you do, that is when now you are going to know more about the subject matter. Okay, so quickly, I am going to pick some of these questions that seems to be very difficult for you so that I can explain more. Okay, so according to the one that we are going to answer C and D. Okay, remember, we are still calculating the relative molecular mass because there is no way we can proceed when you've not understood fully. Okay, so let us first of all do some kind of a recap on this one. Then the next class that we are going to have, that is where now we are going to proceed to the next topic under more concept. Thank you so very much. So can you pay attention? I am saying we are going to get order, okay? Work out the relative molecular mass of the following, which is we have two water molecules here, okay? This is the chemical formula for water. Okay, so now how do we calculate? So first of all, you have to know the number of atoms of each element. So when you look at this one, we have got two elements, okay? So we have the element for hydrogen and the other one for oxygen. So how many atoms of hydrogen do we have here? So first of all, you look at this two. So it means we have two hydrogen atoms of hydrogen. So 2 times 2, we are going to have 4. So hydrogen alone has got 4 atoms. Okay, 4 atoms. So it is that number of atoms which you are going to multiply with the mass number. Okay, so when I say mass number, remember, always when you are answering this type of question, you should have the periodic table. So when I say mass number, hydrogen is actually indicated on the periodic table there with the number on top. So that number which is on top is the one which is refers to mass number. Okay, so now since we have known that we have 4 atoms of hydrogen, this is C. So we have 4 atoms of hydrogen, so we are going to say 4 times. What about now the mass number of hydrogen? The mass number of hydrogen, when you go to periodic table, you find that it's 1. So times 1, okay? Times 1 plus C, okay? You are going to say plus C. You come now to what? To oxygen, okay? So oxygen again, you are going to identify how many atoms of oxygen do you have. So here, there is only 1 atom of oxygen. Now, remember, there is a 2 there, okay? So it means we have 2 because this 2 scatters all these elements, okay? Why? Because it is in front of these 2 elements. So it also affects what? Oxygen. So we have 2 atoms of oxygen. So we are going to write 2, okay? 2 times, then you multiply the number of atoms times the number of atoms of that particular element times the mass number of that particular element, or the mass number of that same element. So the mass number of oxygen, when you go on the periodic table, remember even in the previous lesson, I did mention that the mass number, these are numbers on top, okay? The numbers that are indicated there on top of each element on the periodic table is called the mass number. So it's the one that you are going to use for you to calculate the what? The relative molecular mass. And the other name for those same numbers is relative atomic mass. This is what we learned yesterday, okay? So now you are going to say times the mass number for oxygen is what? 16. Okay. Then from there, you are going to say 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 times 16. The answer is 32. Okay, so 32. 4 plus 32, the answer is what? 36. So remember, the relative atomic mass, molecular mass has got no unit. So we just leave it like that. So this is the relative molecular mass of this molecule, which is water. Okay. Then the other one is D. As I indicated earlier, I said we are just going to look at only 2 molecules as of today. So now we go to the last one, which is calcium hydrocarbonate. So calcium, open bracket, CO3. Then you have 2 outside there. So again, you start. How many atoms of calcium do you have? There is only 1. So you are going to say 1 times Z. How many? The mass number for calcium is 40. Okay. So when you go on the periodic table there, you will see that the mass number for calcium is 40. So you are going to say 1, since you only have 1 atom of calcium, 1 times 40. Then plus. Again, you identify for hydrogen. Hydrogen, how many atoms? Remember, outside the bracket, there is 2, which is affecting it. Okay, so the number of atoms for this hydrogen is what? 2. So we are going to say 2 times the mass number for hydrogen, 1. Okay, then plus, we come to carbon. Carbon, there is 2 outside, so we have 2 atoms of carbon. So you are going to indicate 2 times. Then carbon, the mass number on the periodic table is 12. Okay, then plus, we come to oxygen. Oxygen inside there, how many atoms? There are 3. So 3 times 2 outside. The number which is outside, we are going to have 6. So it means we have 6 atoms of oxygen. So we are going to say 6 times. Then the mass number for oxygen is 16. Okay. So there now we can simplify further. So this is 1 times 40. It's 40 plus. There are 2 plus. Then there 24 plus 6 times 16. May I have the calculator? Oh yes, 96. 96. Okay. So remember, in science, the calculator is allowed there because of the same calculations. Okay. So now 96. So when we add this, 40 times 2 plus this is 42 plus 24, we are going to have 66. Then plus 96. 160. Okay, so 162. So the relative molecular mass of this compound is 162. Okay, so this is the way to go. So now I've left these 2 now for you to finish them as an exercise. Make sure you answer this. And I'll come in to actually mark the same way that I've given you. Thank you so very much. See you in the next class.